this is the setup that you guys are running is bonkers.
Yeah.
So like,
well, it's funny that you call it identical. It's not identical. It is the real feel because it is what's really in a real race car.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to more Podiums. Today we are at the Chicane Club. So you guys know I've been talking about it on my channel for a while now, and I wanted to take you guys to the premier motorsports simulation experience in South Florida. So we drove all the way up here, we're in Jupiter, and let's see if Greg and the crew is here. They'll give us a run through of the sims and everything we've got. I figured it would be a great time for you guys to hear about how they've been training and getting the latest MX-5 drivers, GR86 Cup drivers trained up on their sims. So let's jump in and see what we got.
Hey,
What's
dude.
up? Hey, how you doing?
Good to see you, man.
Doing good, doing good. All right, so you want to take us through and show us what all you got here at the Chicane Club?
Yeah, let's do it. Come on, man.
All right. I guess while we're going through,
Welcome, welcome.
yeah, who are you? Introduce yourself. Tell the people.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Internet. My name is Greg DeGeorgis. I'm the founder and CEO here at the Chicane Club. We are South Florida's elite sim racing social club. So we do everything from one-on-one driver training with real race car drivers ahead of their real race weekends, through super social, relaxed, simulation-based events. Everything around motorsports. We do F1 watch parties. We do workshops on how to drive fun stuff. So it's really fun here.
Yeah, it is. It is awesome. That's the reason why I keep promoting you guys and talking about everything. You guys see kooks like me driving around here on the weekends, but then you also got you got adults that are now reaching the professional echelons of driving. You got MX-5 drivers. You got who all you got here?
Yeah, we have two pro members right now that we work with. We've got Max Schweid racing in the real world Toyota GR Cup. We were just at Barber Motorsports Park over the weekend, and then Rocco just left here 10 minutes ago. Rocco Pasquarella racing in the IMSA MOZA MX-5 series in real life. We've got a bunch of other members who race in categories like Ferrari Challenge, locally here in Fara, IGT, Porsche Club, a lot of club racing, people who just do track days and just love going fast. And then we've got a number of people who are, just motorsports and automotive enthusiasts who just love going fast. So
Here.
Anything and everything on that spectrum.
That's awesome. Dude, so you guys have got some of the best sims, and I think that we just talked about it, but I want you to show the viewers at home what you guys have got. So let's jump in. Mind if we go into one of the rooms or show them around real quick, and then we'll make our way into one of the sims and we'll talk through what equipment you guys are running?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do it.
Let's go.
All right, so we got a really cool kitchen lobby. We got a fridge full of beverages, some adult stuff in here, but it usually won't make you any faster. Yeah, here's our first of our simulator rooms here right through the glass window. We've got Max's car sitting on there right now. Then we'll make our way to the back of the shop where we've got Garrett Heisinger, one of our co-founders, and our simulator operator hanging out at our command center right now. So this is kind of like Mission Control where we run the show from. Back here we've got our debrief station. So this is where, just like in real life, we after every session we record all of our video and data, and then we'll do a full-on engineering debrief where we go through the video, the data, we analyze everything, find where there's differences from one driver to the next, where there's performance to be had, and go through it from there. This direction we've got a nice lovely lounge setup. We've got a really cool coffee table with a Porsche engine. I think it's from a 997 Carrera 4S, so it's kind of its own centerpiece, but that's really cool. And then we've got a really cool TV setup over here to our right, which is really cool for F1 races. So we can have the F1 broadcast, onboards, track maps, all that stuff. So yeah, this is a really fun spot to hang out in.
It is. I can attest. I can attest. And yeah, it's everything that you guys have got here going on is the bomb.
Yeah, so right here where you're walking into right now is our other simulator room, kind of our more primary one. Yeah, so these are identical. Here, let's go ahead and take a look at these. Or here, you ask away. I'll let you kind of know something. Yeah.
Okay. So this is where the magic happens. This is your guys' simulators. And I think that something that I really want for you guys to talk the viewers through, and what I've been able to experience here in some of the few races that we've been able to do together, is how you guys have built this. And I really want to take them through everything that you guys have got. And you shared some really good pieces of information with me, whenever I first got here. And how did you design this not to be an esports sim, but to be, as you called it,
a motorsport simulator?
That's right.
Yeah, so this started life essentially as a CXC Motion Pro 2 simulator with a lot of the boxes checked for all the different things. Since we got our hands on them, we've really remapped and retuned just about every single piece of it. Like you said, the way I look at what we do here, we do a lot of coaching with real race car drivers. We're not looking for an esports competitive simulation experience. We're looking for a real world, high realism motorsports simulation experience. Ultimately, you still load iRacing, we still load Assetto Corsa, whatever software platform it is, and we can do those races. But this is a training tool for real life. So what's realistic is way more important than necessarily what's fastest or easiest or most fun with a lot of these things. So for instance, our motion, we actually ended up turning it down a lot to make it a bit sharper and much more higher frequency. So you can feel the onset of bumps, curbs, wheel lockup, gear shifts. You can feel those much more vividly and not an arcadey, unrealistic experience. Anything that we can't simulate with the motion, we've done our best to try to tune out of the situation. Yeah, when we got these, it's actually almost been 3 years now. These were the top of the line in simulation equipment, especially when it comes to specifically motorsport simulation. You have a Tilton hydraulic pedal tray. This is before the active brake pedal set. So
this is what I think is the coolest. So a lot of people probably don't have this. I know I don't have it. I got a load cell, if you want to call it that. Mm-hmm. This has got a dual reservoir. I mean, dude, driving this thing and being able to go to the Homestead in the Porsche, this feels identical. What you have set up right here feels identical, and to see that this is the setup that you guys are running is bonkers. Yeah. So
well, it's funny that you call it identical. It's not identical. It is the real feel because it is what's really in a real race car. So like you said, it's two AP Racing Motorsports brake master cylinders with a balance bar. There is .5 brake fluid in here that we do have to bleed very regularly. It is a little bit of maintenance, actually, believe it or not, just like a real car. So yeah, we've got it tuned to feel exactly the same amount of force required to generate enough pressure with the same squish and response and damping as the real thing. And nothing really beats the real thing. And that really comes back to our ethos of when we built these, we wanted everything that a driver touches to be from a real race car. The ergonomics are important. Is it necessary to go iRacing? No, it's totally not necessary. You don't need to spend that kind of money. But we're training drivers on the real equipment, and that's why we do it this way.
The proof's in the pudding. I think the announcers in the latest SRO race said something that was super important, which was that Max had never stepped foot at Barber before. In what place did he qualify?
He qualified 5th on Saturday, 4th on Sunday, out of 25 drivers in a field that was hyper competitive.
And wasn't a similar or even better with Sonoma?
He took 2nd place at Sonoma, and he set a new lap record at Road America in taking pole.
Yeah. Has he ever driven those before?
Sonoma, no. He had one very bad weekend at Road America prior to that, where he blew 3 engines and never actually got any laps. So essentially a new weekend for Max at Road America. So
your guys' ethos, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, the real world stuff really matters in a lot of ways.
So I'm noticing you guys have got haptics. You guys that have been watching for a while now know that I preach the butt kicker is the easiest way to bring up that feeling. And how many butt kickers do you guys got running here?
We have 4. Nelson's zooming in on one of the 2 that are on the seat. There's one on the back of the seat, one on the bottom. There's another one on the steering assembly over here, and then there's a 4th one on the bottom of the pedal tray. So yeah, it's not just, it's actually funny. The butt kickers are kind of this ancillary thing, and you have all this motion, and we've got this really realistic steering and a braking feel. If you turn the butt kickers off now, it feels like you're missing a sense.
Yeah.
It's like something's wrong with this, and I don't know what's missing. I can't try to put a finger on it, and then you turn it back on, and all of a sudden, the car feels live. It gives the texture and the heartbeat of the car that's there that is kind of disregarded, and otherwise it just feels like you're driving on this really glassy, smooth racetrack, whereas this gives the rumble and vibration of everything that's really real.
Exactly.
Again, is it necessary to be fast on iRacing? Nope, not at all. It just makes it feel a lot more alive.
Dude, I cannot agree with you more. If I don't have the butt kicker running on my at-home setup, it feels numb. It feels like a limp noodle. Yeah. And it's not there. There's no life.
Yeah.
So also the steering, I have been battling with my direct drive lately, and it doesn't feel, the best way to describe it is obviously you guys have got this stuff dialed in, but regular Joe Schmo here, I got a direct drive, and it is also like a limp noodle until you start getting into those high banking or high downforce turns. So what do you guys got here? What's the secret sauce?
Yeah, so this is based on, this is kind of CXC's special sauce, but it's fundamentally the Leo Bodnar direct drive system, which I believe makes 26 Newton meters of force for those keeping track. This is fundamentally, it's really a commercial only steering system. This is, you can go buy it online, but it's not like ever directly compared to a SimuCube or any of the other setups. This is what basically all the driver in the loop manufacturer or factory simulators use when they're developing like a real race car. So IndyCar teams, GT3 teams, Formula One teams, they're using this steering motor. I would say it is pretty expensive. I think the starting price is over $4,000. I will say that I've driven some of the more modern SimuCube based stuff. They're very, very impressive, and they're really, very, honestly, very good. There's some more control that if you really want to get into the nitty gritty, this gives you the control to be able to map real world stuff that is not necessarily useful for sim racing, or that iRacing and Assetto Corsa don't have the ability to make the best use of. So it's very impressive. If you turn it up all the way, yeah, you can break your wrist if you really wanted to. Totally not necessary. The only real world race car that would ever be heavy enough to do that would be like an Indy car at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in a tournament. Like that's the only thing where you actually need all those 26 Newton meters of force.
That's nuts.
Max's Toyota GR Cup car actually has a torque sensor on his steering shaft, so you can actually see how much torque is going through the steering wheel. Really? It doesn't measure any higher than 7 Newton meters. No. It's because the real world's car only ever gets to about 6.
Dang. And the man behind the cam over here, Nelson, he let me borrow the Ace-Tech 12 Newton meter, and it blew away my 16 that I'm running right now. And, and it just goes to prove that like it's not all about the Newton meters. Like
it's really not.
It's how you're tuning it and how you guys have got it. Because like we got to race Daytona here, and like it didn't rip my arms off. But if I race it at home with my current settings, that's how I got upper body strength.
More is not better.
No.
It's really about the definition and the feel. Yeah, the way we did a lot of the tuning on that is that I've driven in real life quite a lot, but we have pros who've raced in the Daytona 24 20 times. We get the pros who come in and really spend a lot of time in real race cars. And we do a lot of the tuning with their feedback about how the way a car responds as it loads, as it unloads, when it gets to apex, when it breaks away. So we've done a lot of work into tuning all of that. Ultimately, it comes down to you get a really good baseline setup, and then it gets to a point where you need to tune it specifically for each car, and those settings are not universal. So you have to go then change it for another car. But we have a really good universal setup that, and then sometimes when we get really nitty gritty with some cars, we'll get carried away with it. But
I love it.
It's pretty powerful.
One of the things too, so we got the motion, we'll touch on that in a second, but like getting into this seat and the cockpit setup. So like going at Homestead, which I got the coaching from you guys here before we went out for that, because I didn't want to spin out turn one. Like,
great.
yeah, thanks. I went slower than I wanted to, but you know I was governed by the people there. We'll say that.
It feels a lot faster in real life.
To hook, it does. To hook in and like actually like get your body, like it's a full body workout. Like the amount of pressure you need for the brakes, the amount of pressure that you need for your arms, that how you're actually like moving your body in these sims, like it felt identical. So like what's the cockpit setup? What's the motion setup you guys got?
Yeah, so this is CXC's proprietary Motion Pro 2 motion platform. So it's fundamentally a seat mover with 2 actuators in the back. So it's a 2-degree of freedom system. The seat moves independently of the steering and the pedals. There's obviously limitations that would never happen in a real car where we're moving independently the wheel and pedals. But there's some really cool compromises. By being fundamentally a low mass system, we're literally only moving the weight of the seat and the fleshy blob that's in the seat. That's fundamentally as low mass as we can make it. We're not trying to move the whole chassis altogether. That allows us, with the same amount of energy and power, to move it much more rapidly than moving the whole chassis together. So it's very, very responsive. We're also, like I said, we have the displacement on the motion tuned down in exchange for the speed and frequency. So it's very sharp, but we're not moving very far. So we're not ever like moving inches away at a time from the steering wheel where it feels really disorienting. We're just kind of moving around the center, around the wheel.
I think that's one of the really good things that people at home that might not have like this level of a sim setup, but like some of like the takeaways they could take is like it's about the fidelity, it's about like the fine tuning, it's about the little details as compared to like these huge massive ones.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that come in and like talk crap. Oh, I've never had a good experience in a motion simulator, or it's not going to feel real. It doesn't move correctly. That's wrong. And then they get in and drive, and then they're like, huh. Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
So if there's a nugget for you guys out there, the devil's in the details.
The devil is in the details in the tuning.
Or the expertise, depends on how you want to think of it.
And I will also say that there's other motion systems that are on the market that are new, or they've just been evolved so far.
Yeah.
There's other ones out there that are very impressive also that do some things right. There's also a lot that are very cool looking and move very exaggerated ways that are complete crap.
Yeah, yeah.
I won't name names, but there's a handful of them out there that are nothing more than overglorified arcade machines.
Yeah, yeah. And that's not what you guys are about here.
No.
That's not what you guys are about.
There's a cup of tea for everyone, but
Right.
that's not our cup of tea.
Now, another thing too, so always thank you guys for supporting me and my channel.
For sure.
And you guys have got 365-inch or 55, 65? How big are these things?
These are triple 77-inch.
Oh my gosh.
They are flat screens. Curved screen technology has come a little bit pretty far away since we've gotten these. But yes, these are triple 77-inch LG OLEDs running in. We run them in 2K for higher frames, but they're of course going to support 4K image. But we run them in 2K, and we have no problem sustaining 120 frames per second.
So you guys have done two things here that I think that the viewers at home could also use and take this play out of your book. I'm sorry, I'm giving away your secret sauce right now. But that is the dark walls and the sheet.
Yes. So one of the things that we found is really important, and it's very, very easily overlooked. We do have the light on so you guys can at least see us in the room right now. But one of the things that's very easily overlooked towards actual immersion is trying to put yourself in as dark a space as possible. So one, to cut down on glare. But for immersion, you don't want, the ceiling light or the ceiling fan spinning or someone walking by in the background or the flash from a TV or anything. Like, you want to be, the only thing you can see is the screens and obviously the button and wheels in your hands, so whatever lights you need from that. But
right.
That's why we went to Home Depot and we got the blackest black paint color that we could get our hands
Sharpie.
on. A black floor, black curtains make literally the whole room as black as possible. So that, here, I'll briefly turn out the lights for you guys. But you can see when you're in here, all you're seeing is the screen. And that's a huge layer of immersion that I think is so often overlooked when it comes to Sims. And it's relatively easy to do. Just turn the lights off in your room and I'll get you 90% of the way.
Dude, I couldn't, so the only reason why that just triggered in my head is because I moved back from the garage back into my office, which is a really dark color, and I was racing in it at Okayama the other day, and I noticed how much not seeing my white gym walls or garage walls took away from that experience. And then now going back into it dark, I just triggered is why I brought it up here. So it's like, oh,
yeah,
there's something there.
Yeah, especially when you're, again, the whole point is that you don't want your brain focusing on details that aren't important. So by making it black and not being really visible to the human eye, it draws the focus solely to what's on the screens in front of you.
That's why I was missing Apexes. I was like, I'm gonna have to paint that wall later.
Black paint is cheap.
Yeah, true, but it's so hard to get off. So kids, if you watch this, don't clear it by your parents before you do anything. Before you paint anything. Get a $20 Michael sheet first.
Yeah.
Gosh, anything that you want to let the people know about at home before we, maybe if it's cool with you, maybe in the next video, I get to do a little MX-5 racing in this thing and talk to people through it?
Sure, why not? Yeah, the only thing we didn't touch on is the seat specifically. We use a Sawbelt GT pad seat. We're partnered with Sawbelt, and we really honestly just love their products. So this is a fully modular seat. This is not a sim seat. This is a real FIA homologated. The sticker is on this side over here if Nelson wants to zoom in on it. It's an actual FIA homologated racing seat with all the crash structure in it. Is that necessary for sim racing? Again, no. But we have a lot of real race car drivers that have the same seat in their car. And the amount of work that Sawbelt put into engineering this for maximum ergonomics across, again, we have hundreds of peoples in these sim seats.
Right.
So we're not trying to size a seat for one person, we're trying to size it for as many people as possible. What's really cool with the GT pad seat is that all the pads on the inside are very easily removable with Velcro, so we can fit a wide variety of people in here.
We got to race a 24-hour of Daytona together. I had to yield because I was not the fastest guy. But I can tell you that spending hours in this seat was way more comfortable than like the default copy-paste seat that I got at home. I got to work within my budget.
Yeah, that's okay.
But dude, I mean, this thing feels legit and it feels good. It's comfortable. It doesn't suck. Like it's amazing.
It's actually a properly good seat.
Yeah.
Some of the sim seats that are out in the market are only like, I think list prices, I want to say $1,200, which again is a lot for a seat in the sim world.
Right.
But some of the sim seats out there are like $800 or $900. So for a few hundred more, you can have an actual FIA seat that's actually comfortable to spend a large amount of time in.
Well worth it, in my opinion. Like I've been looking into these now ever since. It's like, okay, how do we get to this? Because it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable, and it's like
really
it wasn't for anybody out there that's like looking at this. It's not a waste of money.
Yeah. So again, this is the Sawbelt GT pad seat. The other thing I want to point out is that we do have seat belts on here. Again, not necessary for your home sim racing setup unless you just want to look and feel cool. What's really cool with them, again, these are the Sawbelt 2-inch aluminum seat belts. Again, these are real world seat belts. They're not imitations or anything like that. What's really cool with them is that, so here in the sim, we don't have to worry about actually crashing and anything going wrong. But with the motion setup, when you actually have these on and set up correctly, tight the way you would in real life, the motion transmits the motion to your body much more tightly.
Nice.
So if you're just in a motion seat and you're kind of like in a loose seat that's not really fitting you very tightly and you don't have seatbelts on, the seat's going to move around and you're going to kind of move around on top of it. When you're belted in tightly into the seat, you'll move with the seat and getting 100%. You'll get much more of the effect of what's going on. So you feel the bumps and curbs much more tightly. The thing I really personally like with it, especially with having like a really heavy, properly set up brake pedal, is that when you hit the brakes, the shoulder belts will get tight. You actually pull against them, so you feel the braking pressure on your chest. And that's a really nice feedback tool. As we all know in sim racing, the sensation of braking and getting that sense is really, really hard to do and very important to driving.
Yeah.
It's not the same as like obviously the sustained G-forces of braking, but to have some sort of feedback tool pushing on your chest of when you're braking, it's honestly really helpful. Whenever I turn the motion off, which I almost never do, it's very difficult for me to feel what the car is doing in here. So
No limp noodles.
no limp noodles.
Doing the brake and with your guys' pedal and getting like that first force was like my biggest like oh crap moment, and like this does a really good job at it. Like the only thing I got was like the G-forces took my belly over my belt, and I was like, uh-oh, that's not right. But like the front part, like this actually like pushes you forward, and like being strapped in, like I never thought of it that way. So like for the 10 people out there that watch this that have got motion sim, make sure you get your belts. But like I think you completely nailed it. Like you got to get strapped in. You got to go all the way.
Yeah, it seems a little silly to belt yourself into your simulator. It does feel cool, but again, it's really about the motion transmitting more realistically. Really quick, the other thing I'll point out is that we have a Stream Deck on here for just volume and black box control and iRacing. We use the RaceLogic blue OLED lap timers connected to VBox Impact for video and data capture. That's what we use when we debrief afterwards. We have a little Logitech webcam on here that we use to capture the driver's face, and then a second one on the pedal so we can see what they're actually doing with their feet at times. We've got our dash display here. CXC has the MPI steering wheel, so we've got a round wheel on because I think we're going to do some MX-5 racing, but we also have a Formula Car wheel, a GT wheel, a vintage Nardi wheel. They're custom spec for CXC stuff, so they're all real buttons and switches and paddles and whatnot from real race cars, so that part's really cool. Again, everything that you touch in the sim is out of a real race car. It is not off-the-shelf consumer grade stuff.
One thing that you got me that I think would be good, because I didn't know about this, and because you guys come from the motorsports world, not from the sim world, talk me through these, what I would consider like, what is this? Is like surgeon plastic down here?
It is surgical tubing, yes. So something we do, so I've worked a lot in real world endurance racing. Saving every fraction of a second in pit stop is absolutely critical, to the point where we're literally engineering how this, when we're doing a driver change, how the seatbelts release. So what we'll do on a real race car is just like we have here, we'll tie surgical tubing through the back of the seatbelt. So when the buckles release, the belts snap out of the way to a predetermined position. I don't know if it's allowed in the rules anymore, but we would also stitch in magnets into the shoulder belts, so that when you got out of the car, you tap them against the ceiling and they're hung there.
Oh,
so
man.
then all you have to do is plunk, pop it down, plug it in, and ready to go. So what we did here for ease of use, so that rather than the seatbelts getting undone and they fall out and it's annoying, we use that same surgical tubing so that when you release the belts, they snap out of the way for you automatically. Just a little bit of motorsports inspiration. So.
That's what I love about it here, dude. That's why I wanted to like take like the people that are watching this and everything through it. So like you guys come from motorsports. Everything here is framed around motorsports. It's just that you guys are training drivers through this sim.
Yeah. The one last thing I want to show you that's really cool that we do here on rare occasion when we're doing driver prep is that we even have a helmet plug. So when we have a driver that comes in, we're getting ready before a race weekend, we have them come in with their suit, their shoes, their gloves, and even their helmet. All real race car driver helmets have a microphone built into it, and then other earbuds or the speakers built into the helmet for communication.
Yeah.
We'll be able to plug that in so that all of our comms within the building is going through the helmet. We have a real race car intercom system so we can actually do that. And then we just tied into our TeamSpeak chat here. So, yeah, again, totally unnecessary for sim racing, but it adds a huge layer of realism for real life.
People like me can go out, buy a membership, get here, get this full immersion experience.
Yep. You're driving the same thing that we do our driver coaching on, with literally all of the same settings.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You guys are defining the game. For those of y'all that watch this, I hope that you guys appreciated it. I hope that you guys now understand like how can you use a simulator to go from here to setting, what was it, the fastest lap or something like that?
A new lap record in pole position.
New lap record.
In a real world racing series.
Boom. And you guys are defining the game. You guys are really making it, because the fact that you guys are public is why I say that you guys are defining the game. You guys are setting that standard. Might have something coming in the works.
Yeah, so we're currently standing at our Jupiter location right now. We're about 20 minutes north of West Palm Beach. Yeah, we have there's a new Chicane Club coming closer to West Palm Beach in the next couple of months. More space, more sims. Can't really tell you any more than that, but it's coming soon.
That's all we need to know.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we now go from understanding the tech, understanding how it works, all the epic stuff that you guys have got here, into maybe a little MX-5 13 shenanigans?
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
All right, so for those of y'all that are watching, I hope that you guys appreciated this. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I know that our time here with Greg, thank you. I know our time here with Greg and the Chicane Club members, these guys are once again setting the standard. They know their stuff. People aren't going to know it any better than them. And if they don't know it, they're gonna learn it real quick, guarantee it. But for those of y'all that are watching, if you guys enjoyed this, if you guys got any questions, drop them down below. I'm trying my best to answer some of them. Some of these things pick up more than others. I do have a full life and everything like that, but please know that I do appreciate your love and support. And I actually do really hope to see you guys on the grid at the next MX-5 race. So let's go.
Let's do it.
All right, awesome.
Cool. Thanks dude.
Man. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's go, baby.